You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Restaurant managers in Phnom Penh say they're pleased they've been allowed to reopen for table service, but are still concerned about the further spread of the Delta variant in the capital. The Phnom Penh Capital Administration announced on Tuesday afternoon that all restaurants in the city could welcome customers inside again as long as they follow the COVID-19 safety measures. They must also close in good time for the 9 p.m. curfew and not serve alcohol. The reopening of restaurants comes despite the fact that the Delta variant is slowly spreading in the city. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
Restaurant owners and staff say while they're anxious about the Delta variant, they are just happy they're back in business and can worry less about unemployment or even bankruptcy. EAC News spoke to 34-year-old general manager of 103 Cafe, Moon Dalin.
As a manager, I am pleased with the reopening of restaurants. As you know, all businesses need customers to survive. On top of that, the reopening can also sustain the employment of our staff, which benefits them financially.
She told us she'll make sure staff and customers are all adhering to the COVID-19 preventive measures.
We are surely worried about the Delta variant because it spreads even more widely than the original coronavirus. Therefore, we must follow the safety regulation in order to better contain the spread.
Across town, the general manager of Subanpum restaurant, Chum Sikri, expressed similar sentiments.
The employees and myself are very happy about the decision to reopen. We are all very worried about the Delta variant, though, and we must follow the COVID-19 safety measures in accordance with the Ministry of Health.
While restaurants have been allowed to resume table service in Phnom Penh, the ban on dining in has not been lifted in other parts of the country. Rhea Soko, EAC News. Meanwhile, Bantay Minche provincial authorities have strengthened the monitoring of migrant workers trying to cross the border illegally. The Morpuk District Governor M. Sokha says migrant workers from Thailand still continue to gather at the border, hoping to cross back into Cambodia. Authorities there have temporarily sheltered these workers in a border checkpoint area where they are also being quarantined and checked to prevent any spread of COVID-19, especially the Delta variant. The Ministry of Health has announced that rapid tests for COVID-19 are now available free of charge on request at all public health facilities around the country. The ministry says these free tests are available for individuals, not large groups of people. For companies and businesses needing rapid test kits for their staff, they can contact the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications, which is selling WHO-approved kits for $3.70 each. The announcement comes as more Delta cases of COVID-19 are confirmed across the country. In the past 24 hours alone, 5 more cases have been confirmed in Phnom Penh, with 18 in Siem Reap. The Health Ministry is urging everyone to be extremely careful when going out and to adhere to the preventative measures such as wearing a mask, maintaining a safe social distance, and avoiding crowded spaces.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look now at news making headlines around the world this Wednesday, the 4th of August. A wildfire continues to rage out of control on the outskirts of Athens. Dozens of homes have gone up in flames, but authorities are not yet able to say exactly how many. With electricity pylons and cars also going up in flames, hundreds of residents are being evacuated. The fires started at the weekend, ignited by the worst heat wave in Greece in over 30 years. Midday temperatures in Athens hit 45 degrees on Tuesday. Gale force winds are also fanning the flames. More than 500 firefighters are battling the blaze on 3 fronts. They're being assisted by 150 vehicles and 18 aircraft. As night fell, the sheer extent of the fire could be seen, with officials saying at least 81 separate forest fires are currently being tackled. At least 7 people have been hospitalized, but there have been no deaths reported. China is going all out to contain an outbreak of the Delta variant, which has reached more than 10 provinces. The epicenter is the city of Nanjing, where a Delta-positive case landed on a flight from Russia last month. In just a matter of weeks, 328 new community cases have been confirmed, almost equal to China's total number of cases for the past 5 months. The city is now home to 1 high-risk and 30 medium-risk areas where COVID-19 restrictions are in place. Cities surrounding Nanjing have put similar measures in place. All tourist sites and public transport services in the region have been closed. And a Frontier Airlines passenger is in custody after an in-flight incident between Philadelphia and Miami. He became abusive after being accused of groping 2 flight attendants and punching a third. After refusing to settle down, the flight crew had no choice but to restrain him. The 22-year-old, whose mouth was also taped shut, was taken into custody at Miami International Airport. He's been charged with assault. Frontier Airlines says it maintains the utmost value, respect, concern, and support for all of its flight attendants, and that abuse of them will not be tolerated. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Delta variant of COVID-19 continues to spread across Cambodia. The Ministry of Health has confirmed an additional 36 cases in the past 24 hours. These are in addition to the 232 cases reported by the Health Ministry since Saturday. Of the 36 new Delta variant cases, 18 are in Siem Reap. 9 have been confirmed in Oda Manche, with another 5 detected in Phnom Penh. 4 people in Kampong Tom have also tested positive for the Delta variant. With the number of Delta cases rising steadily, the Ministry of Health has again warned people to be extremely careful when going out and adhere strictly to the 3 do's and 3 don'ts. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Kampong Spoo's 14-year-old rape survivor is out of a coma and out of hospital. She was hacked with an axe after being raped on the 25th of July. Her attacker had tried to kill her. He left her for dead, locking her in his home. He is still at large. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has this latest update.
After more than a week in Phnom Penh's Kontia Bupa Children's Hospital, the 14-year-old rape survivor is now back at her home in Kampong Spoo. She managed to survive a brutal rape, an axe attack, and came through a coma. Now she's back home. The Child Protection Unit and Kampong Spoo Provincial Police are leaving no stone left unturned for the prime suspect, 32-year-old Mahmoud Stafhak. He remains on the run. Kampong Spoo Police and the CPU have extended the manhunt to several provinces. CPU Director James McCabe says that they will not give up until the offender is in custody. He also said that they will continue to monitor the welfare of the 14-year-old girl and will provide all required services to ensure her full recovery. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Day 12 of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and the combined athletics events are all underway in the Olympic Stadium. The gymnastics finished yesterday with Simone Biles earning a bronze medal in the balance beam. After struggling with her mental health during the Games, she told the media the bronze medal was better than any of the golds she has won in previous Olympics. But the US is still short on gold at Tokyo 2020. It's lying in second place on the medals table with 25 golds and 75 medals in all. At this stage of the Games, it seems it's been China's year, still sitting top with 32 golds and a total of 69 medals. Host nation Japan still has a lot to smile about, though, clinging to third spot with 36 medals, 19 of them gold. Away from the stadium, the diplomatic incident involving Belarusian sprinter Kristina Simanowskaya took a turn at the airport on Wednesday morning. She's been granted asylum in Poland and was due to fly directly to Warsaw, but eventually left on an Austrian Airlines flight for Vienna amid security concerns. She took refuge in the Polish embassy in Tokyo after being ordered home by Belarus. she'd taken to Instagram to criticize her coaches for not doing enough against doping. The International Olympic Committee is investigating the incident. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Tokyo 2020 saw surfing being included as an event for the very first time. Its first ever gold medalist was Brazil's Italo Ferreira, and his win is clearly inspiring a whole new generation of surfers in his hometown. They were already into surfing in the northeastern Brazilian town of Baía Formosa, but ever since Italo Ferreira claimed surfing's very first Olympic gold medal, they've gone surf crazy. Talent scouts are already looking for Brazil's next gold surfer, and 12-year-old Maria Clara Dornelles has caught their eye. She's been winning local surfing competitions for years already, but now has her sights set on Olympic glory. With thousands of kilometers of coastline, surfing is hugely popular in Brazil. The world's top 3 surfers in the men's league are all Brazilian, and one of the top 5 women is too. They say Italo Ferreira's success in Tokyo has brought new respectability to a sport most people regarded as just a great thing to do at the beach. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArtsCambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels. YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website, www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Hơi, đợt miền thôi ấy sao?
ហេតុអីបានជាជំងឺ COVID-19 នៅតែឆ្លងច្រើនរាល់ថ្ងៃអញ្ចឹងយើងខំប្រឹងការពារដែរហ្នឹង
មកពីយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាហ្នឹងអនុវត្ត3កុំ3ការពារមិនបានត្រឹមត្រូវ
មិនត្រឹមត្រូវយ៉ាងម៉េចទៅលោកមេភូមិ
បងប្អូនមួយចំនួនគាត់ភ្លេចខ្លួនមិនអនុវត្ត3កុំ3ការពារជាពិសេសបងប្អូនមួយចំនួនគាត់មិនអនុវត្ត3កុំគាត់ទៅកន្លែងមានមនុស្សច្រើនកន្លែងបិទជិតមិនមានខ្យល់ចេញចូលល្អកន្លែងចង្អៀតដោយមិនបានអនុវត្ត3ការពារទេ កន្លែងទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងធ្វើឲ្យការចម្លងវីរុស COVID-19 លឿនណាស់បើមានអ្នកណាម្នាក់មាន COVID-19 ចូលមកនោះវីរុសឆ្លងតគ្នាលឿនណាស់ហើយអ្នកទាំងនោះនាំទៅឆ្លងដល់គ្រួសារឆ្លងចូលភូមិទាំងរយអ្នកអញ្ចឹងទៅ
វិធានការ3កុំ3ការពារនេះសំខាន់ណាស់យើងគ្រប់គ្នាត្រូវចូលរួមអនុវត្តឲ្យបានត្រឹមត្រូវដើម្បីការពារមហន្តរាយដល់គ្រួសារយើងនិងសង្គមជាតិយើង
You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. The Delta variant of COVID-19 appears to be spreading swiftly in the capital. On Tuesday morning, the Ministry of Health said it had discovered a further 8 suspected cases of the Delta variant. This is in addition to the 5 cases it found on Sunday. The discovery has prompted the capital authority to close several roads and villages in Phnom Penh. While the kingdom is doing all it can to prevent any further spread of the Delta variant, the vaccination of children is going ahead uninterrupted. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
Rosikea Street 93 was closed on Monday. Also sealed off is Commune Boeing Salang's Village 5 in Tol Court. The latest cases have been discovered in Tangon Village in the Kapkap 1 commune of Port Sanchez. That's 3 of the capital's most densely populated districts in just 2 days. Parts of Street 113 in BKK2 were briefly sealed this morning, although it's not known if that was COVID-related. As the Delta variant spreads in the capital, the Ministry of Health has urged people to be extremely careful when going out and following the 3 do's and 3 don'ts. It's also urging people to get vaccinated. Parents are heeding the call, flocking to vaccination sites with their children. By the end of the second day of the child vaccination campaign, 79,676 children had already received their first shot. EAC News spoke to some of them who said they worry the Delta variant might mean they need to wait even longer before they can return to school. 14-year-old Virak Munivate told EAC News that she followed her parents' advice to get vaccinated because it will be safer to go outside.
Because my parents decided it for me and I want to be safe from COVID-19.
Another girl, Karen Ma, who is also 14 years old, says that she wants to encourage the children and adults worldwide to get vaccinated so life will be back to normal soon.
I hope everyone will be vaccinated so we can have a peaceful world without any viruses.
To date, at least 232 cases of the Delta variant have been reported across the country by the Ministry of Health, most of them in the provinces bordering Thailand. Despite the borders having been closed, 63 migrant workers have been arrested for illegally crossing the border into Bantay Menche. Authorities are carrying out tests to determine if any of them are carrying the Delta variant, said to be almost 300% more contagious than the original COVID-19 virus. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. In light of the recent incident involving COVID-19 positive imports of frozen meat from India, Cambodia has introduced new rules regarding the import of frozen products from countries considered to be high risk. The General Department of Customs and Excise says it will no longer test samples of imported food products, but test everything in each container. Food items from high-risk countries will be sent to the Institut Pasteur for testing before being allowed to reach shops and markets. It has not said, though, which countries it considers to be high risk. Food products that are found to be coronavirus-free will go through the usual custom clearance process. Those that are found to be infected will be returned to the GDCE, which will then decide whether the product should be destroyed. The new rules come into effect barely a week after 3 containers of frozen Indian buffalo meat were found to contain COVID-19, a claim strongly denied by the Indian embassy. It says the shipment was tested before it left India and met all the necessary requirements for export. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn has had a busy couple of days. He spent Tuesday co-chairing the second Mekong-US Partnership Ministerial meeting alongside US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The virtual meeting reviewed the progress of cooperation since the first Mekong-US Partnership meeting last September. On Monday, the Foreign Minister also attended the 54th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting, where Myanmar was at the top of the agenda. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the details.
The situation in Myanmar dominated the 54th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting held virtually on Monday, attended by Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn. It was a follow-up to the ASEAN leaders meeting conducted back in April. ASEAN foreign ministers have now agreed to work expeditiously to implement their 5-point consensus in Myanmar, particularly in launching the mission of their special envoy, likely to be Brunei's second foreign minister, Erywan Yusof, although Myanmar has yet to indicate whether he would be acceptable. While approval is awaited, ASEAN foreign ministers have agreed to begin delivering humanitarian assistance through the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance in response to the COVID-19 outbreak in Myanmar. The crisis in the country was also high on the agenda for Tuesday's Mekong-US Partnership Ministerial meeting co-chaired by Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn and his US counterpart, Secretary of the State Antony Blinken. Ahead of the meeting, Blinken said he had grave concerns about Myanmar and called on ASEAN to take joint action to urge the military to restore Myanmar's path to democracy. He also encouraged the Myanmar regime to accept the appointment of ASEAN Special Envoy so that negotiations in Myanmar's future could begin. Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn, along with other regional foreign ministers, expressed his gratitude to the United States for pledging $52 million in assistance to Mekong countries. He says that Cambodia, through the Ministry of Women's Affairs, is ready to work with the United States and other members to achieve the common goal of the partnership, including women's economic empowerment, focusing on the post-COVID-19 recovery and the climate crisis. The Mekong-US Partnership meeting comes amid a cooling of tensions between Phnom Penh and Washington. They escalated back in June when the U.S. complained it had not been granted full access to the Ream Naval Base. But last week, after the arrival of the Johnson & Johnson vaccines donated by Washington, Prime Minister Hun Sen called the U.S. a friendly country, along with China, Japan, and the UK for its help in providing vaccines to the kingdom. Rhea Soko, EAC News. Almost 800 people have been tested for COVID-19 in Banteay-Mencay's Seray Suporn City. Authorities have closed the town's Chamkarkor market after a vendor tested positive. Seray Suporn City Unity Command Head Hol Araya temporarily closed the market on the orders of Banteay-Mencay Governor Retre. A total of 780 people have undergone rapid tests, 22 of whom have tested positive. The mass testing was launched after the discovery of the COVID-19 positive trader on Tuesday morning. The new cases add to the 202 cases reported in Banteay-Mencay just yesterday. It is not yet known if the cases discovered on Tuesday are of the Delta variant.
Just a day after closing the Tul Sankhay market in Rasai Kiau, authorities also closed Dum Khor market in Tul Kork for a short while on Tuesday after a shopper tested positive for the Delta variant. Tul Kork Chief Administrator Hua Huat told EAC News that the market was closed while rapid tests were carried out. On Monday, after detecting 5 suspected cases of the Delta variant in Commune Tul Sankhay 1, authorities closed its market along with the whole of Street 93. That has been sealed off for the next 7 days. Across town in Tul Kork, Buongsalang Commune's Village 5 has been sealed off for 14 days. Markets have been hit hard by COVID-19 cases in recent weeks since being allowed to fully reopen at the end of June. The popular BKK market was then closed for 14 days, followed by a scare at Russian market. Just days later, Olympic market was also closed after dozens of vendors tested positive. More recently, Kandal market was shuttered for 14 days after one case there. The Ministry of Health is warning everyone in the capital to be extremely careful when going out shopping, with the Delta variant now spreading in Phnom Penh. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Well, now let's take a look at news making international headlines this Tuesday, the 3rd of August. A joint international effort has been brought together to fight the fires in southern Turkey. 16 planes and 51 helicopters are tackling the blazes across a swathe of southwest Turkey. The European Union says it has mobilized 3 additional firefighting planes, 1 from Croatia and 2 from Spain, joined teams from Russia, Iran, Ukraine, and Azerbaijan. 7 fires are still burning, fanned by temperatures above 40 degrees. Strong winds and low humidity are only making things worse. Worst hit are the resort towns of Manavgat and Bodrum, where flames lit up the night sky on Monday. The Turkish government says the fires follow months of exceptionally dry weather. The southeast state of Florida is now on the front line of a 4th wave of COVID-19 infections in the United States. Lines at some of its testing sites are longer than they have been in weeks, with officials saying the state faces one of the worst outbreaks in the nation. About 25% of America's hospitalized COVID patients are in its hospitals. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has resisted imposing a mask mandate. Florida's Hospital Association says that's partly to blame for the current surge in cases, most of which are due to the Delta variant. Hospitalizations have skyrocketed to 10,000 a day. The Broward County School Board wants students and staff to wear masks, despite the lack of an official mandate. The superintendent of Miami-Dade schools says the district will reconsider whether to require masks in light of the surge. And it's so hot in Greece, you can literally fry an egg in the sun. Temperatures in the central town of Larissa hit 46 degrees on Monday, the hottest day since records began. Across Greece, the mercury climbed to around 44 degrees and is expected to stay there for the remainder of the week. In the capital, Athens, the Acropolis has been closed as it's just too hot in the sun for people to visit. As demand for air conditioning peaks, authorities are advising people to limit power usage at peak times in the afternoon and evening to prevent the country's electricity system from collapsing. Greece's Prime Minister says it's the nation's worst heat wave since 1987. Beaches near Athens are packed with people seeking an escape from the heat, but most agree it's almost impossible to deal with. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Day 11 of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and American gymnast Simone Biles will return to the competition. The 6-time Olympic medalist contests the balance beam final on Tuesday, the final day of artistic gymnastics in Tokyo. Biles had arrived at the Olympics with the realistic chance of bagging 5 golds, but withdrew after a near disaster in the vault competition, saying she needed to focus on her mental health. Biles' absence in most of the gymnastic events has helped China dominate the medals table. As of Tuesday, they remain top with 29 golds and 62 medals in all. The US is currently in second spot with a total of 64 medals, 22 of them gold. Host nation Japan is clinging to third spot on the medals table with 17 golds and a total of 33 medals. But away from the Olympic Stadium, a diplomatic incident is grabbing the headlines. A Belarusian athlete is holed up at the Polish embassy in Tokyo, requesting asylum a day after she refused to board a flight home. She said she'd been taken to the airport against her will. 24-year-old Kristina Simanskaya was ordered home after criticizing her coaches for not making sure her teammates had undergone enough doping tests. As soon as her government saw her Instagram post, they withdrew her from the games and ordered her home. Poland says it is now processing her request for asylum. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. One of the world's most famous footballers, Lionel Messi, is facing a pandemic pay cut. He's currently in talks with Barcelona, with his contract having expired at the end of June. Barcelona president Joan Laporta says talks over a new deal are progressing well with Messi. He's officially a free agent with his contract having ended, but is being offered a new 5-year deal to stay with the club. The Argentine has a lot to think about, though. The new contract would be on a reduced salary, with Barca having to meet a new financial fair play requirement introduced by La Liga. The club has also been hit hard by the pandemic, but it'll be keen to keep their star player as much as he'll be keen to still have a job. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. An incredible moment. That's what France's Beauval Zoo is calling the birth of twin panda cubs. The birth was caught on camera early on Monday morning. Panda Huan Huan was cheered on by zoo staff as they watched her go into labor via surveillance cameras. Moments later, they caught first sight of the mother holding her new arrivals. The zoo's head veterinarian, Baptiste Mulot, says the cubs appear to be in good shape. Huan Huan and her partner Yuan Zi came to France on loan from China in 2012. Their arrival was hailed at the time as a sign of warming diplomatic ties between Paris and Beijing. While their mother weighs around 125 kilograms, the little cubs weigh barely 120 grams. All three are doing fine. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArtsCambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and